Hello, my name is Kennedy Brooks, and today I'll be talking to you all about the acknowledging of the pursuit. Walt Disney once said, "I always like to look on the optimistic side of life, but I am realistic enough to know that life is a complex matter." Happiness is something we as humans strive for, the key word being strive. Happiness is not guaranteed. With reference to psychologists and knowledge of simply being a human, I am going to inform you about the true pursuit of happiness. As stated before, happiness is not guaranteed, so it's important that we recognize such facts and truly understand how to strive for that pursuit while still maintaining a realistic mindset and accepting that we will not always be happy. A harsh fact that most fail to realize is that happiness is not guaranteed in the journey of life. The Constitution states that the people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To pursue something means to chase or follow something in hopes of catching it. To reiterate, happiness is not guaranteed. It is something society chases. Sure, we have a right to it, but that does not mean we will always have it. Nothing in life is guaranteed, especially not the good, the bad, or the ugly. Once we begin to acknowledge and accept this harsh truth, facing the hard times will, still be hard, but you can accept them with more stability. Acknowledging is only one part of the process. The next is the shift. It is not weird or unreasonable to feel dragged down and surrounded by the bad things that happen in the world. That is a part of life. Studies from verywellmind.com state that the prevalence of major depression in the United States was 7.1% of adults. This statistic does not include those undiagnosed and what is a large part of our population today, the youth, that suffer from depression. Fact of the matter is, we are surrounded daily by the ugly truth and all that it holds. We must accept that it is near impossible not to feel sad or maybe even depressed at least some point of our lives. In order to prevent a depressing atmosphere about ourselves, we just need to allow ourselves to enjoy what we have while it's there. Society must shift its frame of mind into one that holds on and reminisces in those joyful moments rather than expecting to never experience bad moments or ones that result in emotions the majority are not fond of. After acknowledging and altering how we think comes acceptance of what is to come. The final stage of many difficult things in life is acceptance, which means to be at peace and understanding of the situation at hand and grow from there on. Rather than a stage, acceptance needs to become a consistent mindset. Human nature always wants to find a solution or a way around what needs to happen rather than simply accepting the facts for what they are. In a book about the stages of grief, authors Elizabeth Ross and David Kessler write about how acceptance does not necessarily equal agreement, but rather growth and learning. They also talk about how people try to return to things how they were before the traumatic event, though doing such is not possible. This applies not only to grief, but all parts of life. Nothing is bound to stay the same, and people should not expect it to do such. Society's mindset needs to shift into a progressive state so that we as humans may grow from bad times rather than attempt to avoid and dismiss them. Life is not all about rainbows and happy endings. That is simply not accurate. Society can pursue all the good in life, but they are bound to run into some bad as well. The key to overcoming such difficult facts is acknowledging that such is bound to happen, shifting your frame of mind when faced with that, and accepting that happiness is not forever, but knowing that it shall come. This is your opportunity to change. This is your chance to better prepare yourself for the punches that life may throw at you, whether you get hit or not. To conclude, happiness is something that we must strive for, but not expect to always receive, for that it is not always granted.